see if you can contact that celebrity, maybe on Twitter or something like this. And if you successfully delivered that name to that celebrity, you'd be like the hero of crypto Twitter for the day.
Awesome. So now on that note, Brantley, when you were saying that this is specifically a name where people are sending the I would say money or the cryptocurrency and transacting. So let's assume that there is this is a funny thing which I'm relating right now with respect to the regular domains which we have like .coms and .net and all. So back in the days, like 10-15 years ago, people used to actually book a few famous domains with respect to brands, with respect to some companies, or maybe some influencers, or maybe some keywords with respect to some niche. Now over here, can somebody actually jump into something? I don't even know whether that term exists or not, but is there anything like ENS domain selling where people book influencer names and then people would be looking for it? So let's suppose if I book a influencer name right now, so will that influence, is there any chance, if you are seeing at all in the future, that that influencer would wanting to have that name of his or her, that he or she that money to buy that particular ENS as an NFT then with respect to the whatever Ethereum is quoted by that owner? Do you think that?
Good question. So there are already, secondary markets for ENS names. The biggest one is placed with that probably where it's done is OpenSea, OpenSea.io, which is a big NFT market, and ENS names are NFTs, so it fits right into that system. So yeah, there are secondary markets. I'll say this. We have tried to build our system to discourage what I would call large-scale name squatting. And this is actually why .eth names cost anything at all. Now, we could make our system not cost anything. Like you just register a name. I guess there's the gas cost, but there is no additional protocol fee. The problem with that, though, is that then a small number of people could register like 10 million names, and they take all the good names, and now they either can just strangle the system, no one can use it, or they just rent them out. And now you were back to a rent situation, but these just early squatters are the ones capturing all the value. So this would be bad for the system. So this is why we have what I call a cost scaled to time held. So for most .eth names, it's $5 US a year, and you can pay that ahead if you want. So if you want to, you're like, I want to own this for the next 50 years, just pay for 50 years. You own it, own it for 50 years. You can't totally stop large scale name scoring, but the reason there's a cost is that if you're holding, let's say like 100,000 names, that's going to cost you $500,000 a year of names you're not using. You're not getting value out of. So we can't totally stop it, and it's not totally bad. But I guess our perspective is we think a naming system is most useful, is most valuable if people who own names are actually using them. So I'd say, could a person do speculation on name scoring? They certainly can, and some people have made money doing that. Our philosophy, though, is if you do, let's say, grab a celebrity's name, what I recommend is see if you can contact that celebrity, maybe on Twitter or something like this. And if you successfully delivered that name to that celebrity, you'd be like the hero of crypto Twitter for the day. Like you gain the social capital. Whoa, you're the guy who got it to that celebrity. Now that celebrity's using ENS and crypto. What you just did is make this naming system, cryptocurrency community more valuable for everybody because we just converted a celebrity to the system, right? Does that make sense? So people can do what they want, but that's what I recommend.